All right, this is the fun part, guys. I've got the MR Triton in the workshop. We're going to be fitting the GT bull bar to it today. I'm just going to start off with stripping the bar. This vehicle doesn't have the front camera, so if you do have the camera, you'll have to disconnect that, and then you can refit it into the new GT bull bar. So I'm just going to disconnect the lights, strip it all down to the chassis, and then get started. So I've stripped the vehicle down. So with the MR Triton, this is a water bottle replacement. So with the Rockarmor bull bar, they give you a replacement water bottle. Also, if you're going to be fitting the winch to the Rockarmor bar, just remove the horns. At the moment, they sit in the center. Just remove them to the side there, so that gives you extra clearance for your winch. So what we have here, I've got the my fine thread bolts there, and I'm just putting my spring washer and my flat. Now you'll see just on the front there, it lines straight up with the chassis. So I'm just going to put the bolts in all the way across the front here, just as so. So there you go, guys. We've got 6 mounting points just on the front of the chassis there. Now that's bolted directly up. As you see, also the cradle here, we've got the reinforced brackets all the way underneath, so you can mount your winch just on top there, and you've got the mounting points. So just after this, now we've got the recovery points there, which also fit from the rear there, and what it does, it's going to just brace the front of the cradle to the rear of the chassis, giving us that extra points, as well as our recovery point on the bottom there. So I'm just joining the support bracket from the rear, and just using the nut and bolt straight through there, just with the flat spring and nut. Now do the same for, I've got 3 points here. I've got 2 on the top and I've got 1 on the bottom there. So as you see there, I've mounted my 3 points just to my recovery point. Now if you took note there, this bottom bolt, I inserted it from the bottom up, just so that I don't have the bolt hanging from the bottom, so when I do recovery. Now you've got 4 longer U-bolts there and 2 shorter ones. So these longer ones here are going to go around the chassis, and they're going to come out of the front here, and this bracket's just going to sit on the front as so. Now just insert the flat spring nut on the bottom and also on the top, and then I'm going to put my bolt just in the middle of that recovery point there. So there's 2 of these shorter U-bolts. Now they're going to go at the back of the chassis here, just to secure this bracket into place. So just to recap, I've got the shorter U-bolt on the back with my flat spring nuts, and then I've got the longer U-bolts here around the recovery point, and 1 bolt in the center there. So now that all my nuts and bolts are in place, I'm just going to center the cradle. So you can either center it from the edge to the cradle or from the cradle to the body. I'm just going to center all that up and tighten it up.
And then with the locator support hole here, we're going to have to put the bar on, and before you put your winch on, you're going to have to drill a 8mm hole from here all the way through to the bar, and then you're going to have to take it off and put the winch, and then carry on with the process of fitting the bar. So guys, as you can see, we've got the bar fitted. It's actually adjusted perfectly. We're happy with all the adjustments and the gaps that we left all around. So what we're going to do now, take a marker, go down to that hole. You can see it. Let's mark a hole. So same on the other side. what I'd like to do, just go extra step and mark it here, right here on that 90-degree angle. So that would be a reference point for myself. I know when I put it back, it will go exactly the way I took it off. So now it's a matter of taking the bar off, drill them 2 holes, put it back on. It's a great time now to put the winch on, along with the sensors, the lights, whatever you're going to put it on.
So the factory water washer bottle sits usually around about down here. And what that does, it's all fine and everything, but with our design of the bull bar, how we went for a high approach angle, that's just going to leave that open. So what we do, we replace it with a smaller water washer bottle. And this actually sits just in front of your intercooler right there. And it will get mounted right here. And then basically it requires wiring plus the hose to be back to your wipers. We'll just show you that now, how to actually fit that on.
So guys, we've got this bracket here. Sometimes this gets a sensor, but we can always just move the sensor somewhere over there. And we've got this water bottle, and this is where it's going to be mounted on. So we start with moving this bracket. So what we do, with just a M6 screw with a nut, feed it through here, feed the screw through here, tie it up, and then get rid of the cap. We don't need the cap, and I'll show you later why. Feed that through, and that actually sits on the intercooler. All right, second part is to expose them wires going to the existing bottle. So what we need to do, just expose them 2 wires. So once we expose them 2 wires, we'll go to the third step. Now, here's the step where you're going to extend everything. You've got the hose, the water hose. You're only going to need really about 30 or 40 centimeters off it. And we've got the main power for the other bottle. We're going to splice this into that, connect the black to black, red to green. And I've got some conduit just to protect the wire from rubbing on steel or whatever. So next step here is to just connect the hose, the water hose. So we've got this extension here. Just clip it together. And really, like I said before, you only need about 30 centimeters. I'll just give it an extra 50 mil or so. And that's it, I don't need this. And what we're going to do now, just run it through from this hole here all the way to that water bottle, the new water bottle we have. So all we're going to do now is just plug the power where it's supposed to go, and the water hose, like I said, that extra I didn't even need.
So just put the bar on. Now I'm just going to insert my bolt from the outside in. I just find that easier. And then flat spring nut. There's 3 mounting points on each side. Okay, so I've got the bar on now. I've put 3 mounting points on each side. So just have a look there. Make sure you've got a real nice even gap all the way around. And now I'm just going to go ahead and tighten it up. Alrighty, there you go. That's how easy it is to fit the bar. So that's all on. I've tightened the bar up now. I'm just going to go through, do my electrical. So I'm using the factory harness. So this harness was already built into the existing bar. So I'm just going to go ahead now, strip. I've got my indicators, I've got my park lights and I've got my fog lights. So I'm going to connect up my fog lights there, and then this is the angel light. So that comes with the indicator and the park light. So with the wiring, they're labeled there. Obviously your black is your earth, the red is my park light, and the yellow is going to be my indicator. And this is my fog light. So the black is my negative and the red is going to be the positive. So I'm going to go ahead now, connect all those. Okay, so this is the passenger side bracket. Now, as you see, the fold sits up like that, and these two are on my chassis mount. So you could install this when you've put in the cradle, or you can install this once the bar's on. It's up to you guys. I'm installing this one after I've put the bar on. So it's just going to sit inside there, as so. And I'm just going to put my nuts and bolts into place there. So you'll see where there's a mounting point on the inside of the bull bar there, just underneath my indicator and parker light. And I'm just going to insert my bolt with the flat washer through the top, and then pick it up with a flat spring nut on the bottom. Okay, so we're up to the last piece of the puzzle here. We've got the underbody bash plates. So there's one on each side, one for the left, one for the right, and then one really nice bash plate underneath the bottom that's going to protect the whole under of the vehicle. So you've got your 10 mils, just a flat spring. And the great thing with the Rockarmor bars is that they're already nut inserted in. So you're not putting in one of those capture nuts or anything like that trying to get it. These are already inserted into the bar, which makes it so much easier to install. That's how easy it is. You've got 6 on each side there. I'm just going to go through, put them all in finger tight, and then tighten it all up. Just to finish the bar off now, I've got the inner guard there. So I'm just going to trim it along that line and along the line of the bash plate there. And the inner guard is going to sit on the inside of the bash plate. I'm just going to trim that down and let it sit in there. So I have these 2 rear mounts, which are going to slide in to the bolts on the already bolted on the chassis there. I've loosened them off. And then I've got 3 10 mils which are going to go onto the bull bar. So that just slides on as so. And then up on the bull bar here, we're just going to put our 10 mils. 3 10 mils, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to tighten them all up.
All right, you guys, after fitting all the bar and everything is done now. Ready to put the neck for the water bottle through that shroud. So what happens is I start by cutting that bit of the neck here. There's a mark here where it says full. I just cut that because that's access. I do tend to heat this up with a heat gun or just a torch, just a little bit, not too much. And then I make that really tight fitted, and then put this aside. What I'll do next, I'll just come in here, fit that inside the washer bottle, just bend it a bit like that, center it where that shroud's going to be. All I need is one point, just a small mark, say a center mark, which is about here. So this mark here, this is not the center, this is just that way. So the center would be right in there. So this is my center line. And then grab a hole saw. It's 40 mil. With the actual neck here, I need to cut this tab here and that tab. I normally just tend to do them with the grinder. So what we're going to end up with is here, flush all the way. Now the next thing we're going to do here, just to get an exact measurement. You need to drop the neck in here and then line it up here. Get 2 marks. So basically what you're going to do, try to cut this in line with that. I'll explain it more once I cut it. So what I'm trying to achieve is for this to go all the way down, flush with that level here. So what I'll do, I'll just cut that. Once this is done and it's tight fitted here, all we're going to do now, drill a 6mm hole into this, and along with the M6 screw and nut, and that's it. There you have it, guys. The shroud's done. This is done. All you gotta do, put the cap on, and that's it. All done.
Here we go, guys. Just finished the fitment of the GT bull bar and the MR Triton. I'm not going to say much because really just looking at it says it all. Really nice fitment, complete bumper replacement, real easy fit, and just really sets the car off. Looks amazing on the vehicle. It was a real easy fit. So guys, let's get this vehicle out of the workshop now and see how it looks.